back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Adrienne. I want to share something really personal with you, my journey to law school and why I decided to pursue it now. This decision didn't happen overnight. It's been years in the making. It's been shaped by my experiences, the paths I've taken, and the calculated detours along the way. For me, law school isn't just about the degree, it's about purpose, timing, and stepping into the next chapter of my life with intention. And if you're thinking about law school yourself, whether if it's right after college or later in life, I hope that my story gives you some insight, encouragement, or maybe even the push to want to go and, to give you the push that you've been waiting for. And I can say this boldly and with confidence, for years, I definitely thought that law school was for me. I did mock trial in high school. I won Best Advocate. My first internship in high school was for a state senator. Shout out to Senator Hughes.
Understand your power. Understand how much power you have. You have a huge amount of power, and far too many times we undervalue ourselves. All right? We undervalue as individuals, but we undervalue the power that we have. All right? Please understand you have more power than you think you have. And there are folks who have basically designed it that way for you to think you don't have any power. Okay? But the truth is you do. Understand that. All right? And then, of course, utilize that.
And I was even invited by a law firm, Powell Law Firm PC, to the state capitol in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, to do research on PA's medical marijuana program to help influence legislation. I also got certified by the Pennsylvania Department of Health. I didn't have a glamorous view. I just knew that being a lawyer included long hours, large caseloads. When your kindergarten teacher looks at you, and I can remember this day like it was yesterday, you're going to be a lawyer. That affirmation that was spoken over my life that essentially creates the future. I would say in the media, some lawyers are portrayed as untouchable, ruthless, or even unethical. That didn't even inspire me at all. What did inspire me was the possibility of representing everyday people who had no voice when they were treated unfairly. Trust me, I understand how that feels. And I realized that justice doesn't just exist on its own. It has to be fought for. And right now, with the way that the world is shifting, I feel the urgency to be a part of that fight, now more than ever. What area of law do I want to practice? My area of interest are securities, estate planning, and real estate, and immigration. Each of these areas impact people's lives daily, and I'm ready to take action and put in the time to further explore all of these areas. So let's get into the hard topics. People's rights are being violated every day. And one of those places is the workplace. Your job is supposed to be a place where you earn a living, gain skills, and continue to work towards being a sociable human being that knows how to work well with others. But a competitive labor market has forced companies to do some not integrable things, and employee turnover is not so great. A place that is supposed to offer benefits like good health care, and honestly it's become too conditional, and companies are too short with their workers, and it plays a huge part in the mental health and lack of well-being in employees. One of the biggest turning points for me was working within environments where human resources should have been the safety net, but it wasn't. Jobs like city government don't invest in resources like set allocated dollars to a specific department to explain employee benefits to workers, also known as technical specialists, preferably in employee benefits. HR isn't trained to truly protect employees. They're trained to protect the company and respond to fires by any means necessary, and blindly at that, to say the least. This is just my opinion, but I also think HR likes stirring up unnecessary drama, like escalating minor issues that can be mediated or have already been mediated. This will stop large employee turnover. No matter how many jobs are cut, there still isn't enough money in the budget. I think it makes them feel better at their work. After hiring is concluded, imagine just sitting at your desk with almost nothing to do. It's almost as if they're the judge, the jury, and the executioner all at once at a company. Internal programming and employee training is lacking, and this is where HR can spend most of their time. Employee turnover rate is already in a bad spot, so when workers face discrimination or harassment or just even wrongful treatment, too often their stories are buried, and HR just regurgitates policy with no legal knowledge or implication on these policies, and they're taken out of context or interpreted incorrectly. Maybe not every HR professional is bad, but the system itself was never designed with workers in mind. That gap, that silence is what pushed me to see the law differently, as a tool to level the playing field. My best advice will be to always save up for an attorney. I think that everyone should have legal counsel. There are some labor unions who have access to attorneys. There are also some corporations who also give their employees access to different types of attorneys. But if you are someone who does not have this privilege through their employee benefits, and if someone in your HR department does not fully explain what kind of benefits you are offered, I think that you should always do your research, but most importantly, you should always save up for an attorney. An attorney is always important. It doesn't matter where you work. Make sure that you always have money for legal counsel. Then there's labor unions. In theory, they're meant to protect workers, but in practice, sometimes they become just another bureaucracy on top of the work organization as a whole. More focus on negotiating at the table. Often they turn to ask for more dollars to improve employee output, but they leave out conversations on how to make the work environment equitable or how to internally offer skills for employee promotions for those who deserve it. So where do you turn when HR protects the company and the unions don't protect you? For me, the answer was clear. You turn to the law, you turn to advocacy, you turn to reclaiming justice in spaces where they have been denied. Here's where I need to be clear. Being a lawyer for me is not about power over people. It's about authority for people. It's about standing in spaces where individuals are voiceless and saying, I got you. I will use my knowledge and my authority to protect you, to represent you, and to demand fairness. Justice isn't about winning every case or wielding influence. It's about balance. It's about making sure the scales tip towards equity and not exploitation. I know I'm young, and stepping into this field comes with people questioning if I'm ready, if I'm tough enough, if I understand what's at stake. I think that's my greatest strength. I bring a fresh perspective. I am not jaded by the old ways of doing things, and I know what it feels like to be silenced. That's exactly why I'll fight harder, because I know what's at stake, and I know what's at stake when you're ignored. This is why I've chosen law school now, not for the prestige and not for the power, but to reclaim justice where it's been lost. I hope that by sharing this journey, I inspire someone else to see that it's never too late to step into your purpose and to stand up for what matters. Thank you for being here. If you're on your own path, whether it's law, advocacy, or just figuring out what's next, I love to hear your story in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me as I continue sharing this journey. Until next time, loves. Bye.